right, hello everyone, and welcome to the GMologist Present. This morning we are continuing our adventures in Eriador using Pre-League's amazing The One Ring game system. So we are, like I said, we are in Eriador, and we're using sort of, the outlines presented in Ruins of the Lost Realm. But if you look through these products, or I'm just telling you, they're not really like an adventure book. It's kind of like a site hex, more like a gazetteer of the region, and there's various plot points that can or cannot happen depending on what you want to pursue. So or it kind of gives you like a roll of years and like what's going on as the characters progress. Now there is an adventure book, and if the player characters get or kind of, let's say their emergent play leads to one of these adventures, we can use some adventures from Tales from the Lone Lands as well. So, and this is the One Ring Pre-League system. They have more or less parallel companion books that are using 5e, the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. But we've really been enjoying the One Ring system, and we're going to continue here. And before we give you a recap and all these tokens on the board are explained in this forest and this pool, I will introduce my players. So please tell me, just introduce yourself. I will introduce you too, and then tell me who you're playing. And importantly, we did a fellowship phase at the end of last session, so tell me what you advanced. All right, so first we have Amy.
Hello. I play Gwenin and Myrtle. Gwenin is a warden and a ranger, and she's of the Dunadai. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce that. And during her fellowship phase, she increased her wisdom and got endurance of the ranger, and she also increased her awe. I think that's fun to say, awe. And then
Nice.
I also play Myrtle Brandybuck, and she's a hobbit, and she's a treasure hunter, and I'm pretty certain that everybody knows that means that she's a thief. And she got an increase to her wisdom, and she picked up small folk. So when we're engaged in close combat with a bigger creature bigger than her, which is almost everybody, you add +2 to your parry rating, and also you can assume a rearward stance in combat, even if there is only one other company. So I'm sure you'll explain that a little bit better. And then she also, I think that's all she did.
No, the healing.
She increased her healing. Sorry, it's been a hot minute, guys. But that's Gwenin and Myrtle.
All right, and next we have Arlen.
Hi, I'm Arlen, and I'm playing Bruni, who is a dwarf, and Oradreth, who is an elf of Rivendell. So for the two of them, let's see, Bruni, both of them took +1 wisdom to get a cultural virtue, and then also got some skill upgrades along the way. Bruni, his cultural virtue is Baruch Kazad, which is the war cry of the dwarves. And it lets him, once per combat in forward stance, he can attack favored, which is basically like advantage in D&D. You roll 2 of the D12s and take the best one, and also intimidate as a secondary action on that round. So it's basically like one big charge in and smash things. The war cry as the dwarves charge in is Baruch Kazad, Kazadai Minu. So that's his thing.
I thought he was like a lore keeper.
Well, yeah, he's just also a dwarf with a big axe,
That's what they say.
Yep. Anyway, and then Oradreth, who is a champion, as his calling. So he is like full on fight the shadow type stuff. His cultural virtue is called Gleam of Wrath, which basically means that on a successful hit, any target that he hits takes -1 resolve or hate, and then extra penalties to resolve or hate based on the 6s on the D6s. So basically, really useful for fighting all sorts of the freaky deaky monsters that you can't just slash regularly, but have to take down their hate, because he can do regular damage and then also take away some of their meta currency.
Wow. Well, I mean, even orcs and goblins have hate, so
Well, yeah, even orcs and goblins have hate, so useful for everything, but particularly useful, I felt like, in response to when we fought Heron in the water spirit. That was the thing we ran into, was trying to work through all of his hit points and also his hate at the same time. Seems like that's a
same with the barrow white. So
and the barrow white, yeah.
All right, so that brings us to like what happened last time. Any volunteers?
I don't want to volunteer because I'm gonna mess something up. I remember what happened, but I'll mess something up.
All right, I can jump in if I miss things, guys. So last time we started off, we had fought Heron in the water spirit, and we had looked in the treasury of the water spirit. So then last time we ended up talking about kind of what was going on, all of the sort of background of these characters and the things that had gone on in the past that led them to this point, their disappointments in other characters, some of whom aren't around here anymore, some of whom have gone off to the Undying Lands. But basically, we figured out that there was some freaky stuff going on, and they needed a little bit of, some on-the-fly therapy, and also there was a barrow white hidden out in an underground chamber out here in the forest. There's all these elven tree houses, and then also a sort of basement supply bunker, basically, with a barrow white. And so we had to go and deal with the barrow white so that everybody could let go of all of their long-term, all the issues that are making them behave poorly. So we went and fought the barrow white, and if I remember, our resident Hobbit Burglar had some pretty incredible rolls with the goblin spear that she carries, and proceeded to basically like knock out chunks of sunlight in the roof, so that the barrow white was not able to take advantage of the shadow, and we ended up finishing it off and being able to come back, and all of the different characters. So Aranwe is the sort of leader of these elves. It's Gwynon's friend, and it's his sister who went off to the Undying Lands after all of the terrible things in the shadow, and it's her partner who made this particular bracelet that we found, that is a really fine piece of craftsmanship. It has a passage on it. But yeah, we dealt with the barrow white, and we dealt with Heron and talked to him, and so everybody sort of agreed to let bygones be bygones. And then we had a fellowship phase, just hanging out in the restored Elven Sanctuary, and recovered up some of our shadow and some of our fatigue, and are ready to go adventuring further, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I'm pretty certain we scared the pants off of Sorman.
Sornan, yeah, Sornan, he is like kind of prisoner henchman from an earlier episode. It's kind of started this adventure for the year, but we'll get to that. So you also found something called the Heart of Tyndalen, a 7-faceted gem from Lost Beleriand. So if you remember Beleriand from the first age, or is it pre-first age? Arlen? Beleriand?
I think it's around pre-first age, but I think mostly it's first age stuff. That's like the kingdoms that fight Morgoth,
Right.
Yeah.
basically in the Silmarillion.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't.
So it's a really old gem.
Yeah, I don't know where to put this, but during the fellowship phase, we created the Song of the Champions of Light,
Right.
which I think when they're singing, you said it gives +1 to all feats, and we ignore weariness, or no?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So we're gonna have dwarven battle cries and hobbit battle songs.
Yeah.
So do I put
Maybe-
that on Myrtle's sheet somewhere?
Yes.
Well, maybe we could have, since it's a party resource, we could have a party notes
Okay.
handout like we do in a lot of games, and we can put resources like that on there.
Yeah, because I mean, there's the song about Ordreth and how he inspires so many people with his oar that he has a great light that comes behind him. That Bruni, but Myrtle's a hobbit. She's kind of small, but she feels as though he's like a giant amongst dwarfs, and he has a hammer and also an axe, and that he's kind of like I guess, what would you call it? Kind of like Thor, god of thunder, but not really. And then, she was singing about Gwennon as just, happy and trying to make everybody good. And she was singing about the elves and how they're now a camaraderie. And she has to have Hernan, I can't pronounce his name. Hernan,
Harunan. Yeah.
Harunan in there about how he has emerged from the lake, and she's singing about how now instead of it being bad that comes from him emerging, it's rain and making the trees green again, and that we're all one big champion.
And those bloody insects aren't attacking you anymore.
Well, she left those out because they're ugly.
And the squirrels aren't throwing nuts and other things at you.
And being mean. That is
Yeah.
the song of the champions of light.
Yep. Okay. All right. Another thing that happens during fellowship phase is your fellowship goes back up to its max, which is 6, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The Eye of Mordor does not reset until you trigger the notice of Sauron, or the Eye. So there has been, in this couple of weeks that you've been resting here in Tindalen, the Huron has undergone a change. So he's starting to maybe regain his elven aspect as opposed to being more like a water demon.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he's looking like an old elven man. He's got some sort of fairy nature to him, more of a spirit. Mm-hmm. So I can remove that one and give you Harunan, who is healing.
I envision that Myrtle goes down and they share tea by the lake every morning, and she sings songs with him, and he's helped her compose this masterful song about championship.
Okay. Yep. So Harunan is undergoing some healing process. So Randor is going to stay here and continue the work of the previous generation of elves to caretake Harunan and this refuge now. And you'll clean it up. I don't know. Let me see. I'm trying to think if any of these people would stay with him. Aranwi wants to get the heart back, as does Sulrain. I think she was the one who was accusing people of stealing it, right?
Yes.
If I recall correctly. And
one
Brenthel. Oh, but they're going with you on your quest as well. So I believe
Yes, and then once everything completes, Sorman will want to come back here and remain here.
Yes. So I think I'm trying to think of what Brenville would do. He kind of likes you guys, so he seems the one with the least amount of issues at this point. He's a scout. Yep. So it's hard for him to trust anyone, but he is willing to change his attitude based on the actions of the player heroes, which you guys show true heroism. So he's also going to continue. Randor and Harunin is pretty tough. I think they'll be okay. So Randor and Harunin, but the rest of you will continue on. Is that correct? Is there anything else that needs to be done here?
I don't think so, because I don't think Myrtle needs. She could sing a song as we're heading out, just to inspire everybody. But I'm assuming that word will get out that this elven area is being rebuilt and other elves will come.
More than likely, or at least when you get to another fellowship phase, wherever you end up going, that you'll tell them any elves you meet, you might tell them there, and then they'll make their decision from that. So we move on.
So we also, just as a reminder, in addition to writing a song, we also pondered, storied, figured maps as part of our fellowship phase. So we get a bonus for journey events based on that.
Okay.
What is that bonus? Do you remember?
It's a +1 on feat die rolls to determine the nature of events during a journey.
Okay. So it could be better, or it's up to you if it's better or worse, I guess. Is that how that works?
Well, I think it's all because of the way that the table is set up. It's all just basically a little bit better than.
Okay.
The earlier ones. Yeah, because it's not the type of event. It's for the potential consequences.
Oh, right. The consequences of.
Yeah, +1 on the table means more likely to be if you succeed, you get a bonus rather than if you fail, you get a penalty once.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess that's right, because the Gandalf rune, right, is up there. Okay. All right. So we will switch maps and continue our journey.
Oh, there's the pony. That's Myrtle's pony. And
yep.
Bruni and Aura, they have a horse, right?
Yep. Right, Bruni and Ordreth have horses, correct?
Ordreth has a horse. I think Bruni has a pony.
Okay.
Because he's a dwarf.
Right. Okay. But y'all have, other than Gwennon, she's kind of, I guess.
She's a ranger.
Well, and they're pack animals, right? Not mounts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the horses are? Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, okay. That's the way that they're narrated, is that what they do is they make it. I guess technically also riding is a little easier than walking. So they could be mounts for distance travel, but not like charging in on horseback sort of stuff.
Right. So I think we're going to keep the tasks here: guide, huntsman, scout, and lookout. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we want to keep those? I think that's what we figured out before, what the best would be. And then I think we're going to go. I think we decided that with Sornon, he tells you that the location of the fort. If I can find a good token. Yeah, I think a good token.
So I thought we were told it was somewhere down here, right? Okay, yeah. Over there. I was close.
Well, no, I'm just getting the token out. but I got to make it smaller. But it's probably like, say, over here. And so you will be traveling. So once you hit the Blue Mountains, it becomes Darklands from Wildlands. So you could probably figure out. So let's have a look. Yeah, so you can go. So I guess a decision to make is if you're going to go like this or like this.
Well, I think Gwennon would say, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to move the, I don't know how to use the pointer thing. But
Oh, it's a little comb thing.
Yeah, it's the measure tool.
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be a ruler.
Right. It's a ruler, but it looks like a comb. It looks like a comb to me.
Does look like a comb. I think like this would make more sense.
Okay.
Well, I can't even see my mouse on here. Anyways, I was thinking more along the lines of the opposite.
Well, that would take you through Darkland, so.
But I think
like this.
Right, but I would think that what Gwennon and Myrtle are thinking is then we're not coming straight at them. We'd have a little bit more chance of being stealthy, for lack of a better term. And isn't that a river, so we wouldn't be far from water if we needed to?
I don't see a river in there.
Or whatever.
Well, there's the river along here.
Yeah,
but so the hexes are 50-mile.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it matters too much which direction we approach from in terms of stealth, right?
Yeah.
It's still going to be like days and days of walking.
I guess I didn't even think of like even going. Like if you want to avoid,
we could go all the way around, down, and then around, and that's
it's a little it's a little longer, but it does keep through to the river and avoid Darklands as much as possible, but also stay in a forested area, as per your stealth idea.
I was just thinking that would also give us the opportunity to get cover if we needed it. I'm sure there's cover going the other way, but I seriously can't get the ruler thing to work. I can't draw out what I was thinking. The only thing I can do here, I'll try grabbing the pony. Except I can't see. Literally cannot see my mouse at all.
I wonder if it needs more batteries. Another set of batteries.
No, brand new batteries.
So like
anyways,
that way?
No. Like what you guys were talking about.
Okay.
Well, I think the thing with prioritizing stealth is good, but I think that our stealth, I think we will actually be stealthier by going on this north route and then down by staying out of the areas where the shadow has more presence. Because even though the terrain is rougher, and so it would be conceptually like easier to hide in the land, going like along in the mountains, because the mountains are Darklands, that means that there's more shadow awareness in that part of the world.
Well, I like the idea of going back and coming in. I wish I could draw it out, guys, but I cannot. I cannot get this thing to work. I've tried going dark or light or whatever.
I see your thing up there.
Yeah, but once I move off of it, I can't see my cursor on the map at all. Nothing. I can see it when I'm down below underneath the map, but on the map, I can't see my cursor.
Okay.
And I don't know how to change my cursor color so I can see it.
Right. Well, so I guess if you're in the wildland, I roll 1 feat dice. If you're in a borderland, it's a favored dice. If you're in a darkland, it's ill-favored feat dice for the event. So that's the mechanical consideration. So it is probably better to go this way or the second way, south or north. avoided it.
Yeah.
The second way is the way that I was trying to show you, but I can't. I can't make any of that work. Going
You're talking about
down,
going down along the river.
and then coming over.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Gwennon's thought pattern is if we stick to the river, we're kind of expected to be near the river. So we don't cause as much attention to be drawn to ourselves, and then crossing over, that's when I think we're going to have to be a little bit more stealthy.
Okay.
But
Or even one more consideration is if you travel here this way, the first part of the journey is actually traveling through Freelands, the southern part of the Shire. So the first leg of the journey would be favored. So, well, I guess maybe either way.
and then
It's not,
come up against what is
and then down.
and then the Arneden. I can't see that, and I can't point.
Okay. You can ping. What do you?
Only if I can see my cursor.
Okay.
I mean, my cursor's over here, but I don't even see it.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on.
All right. It wouldn't be a Roll20 game without technical difficulties.
Well, it just
Okay.
means I'm not going to be able to ping or do anything. I can roll off of my sheet, but I cannot
Okay.
get the measuring tape thing to work at all.
Okay. Well, it's not. We don't have to worry about it. So okay. So you want to go this way through the Shire a little bit, and then down.
Well, Myrtle would like that because then it's kind
Okay.
of like going home, but it's up to the rest of the party.
Yeah. I think that getting as much movement through Freelance, good idea. So let's go through the Shire and then that North Road.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
we're like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Minimal exposure to shadow.
So those mountains where you were drawing it, that would be to the right, up where it says Arcane Dan, whatever that is, Arcandan. I can't pronounce
Oh,
it.
Arthur Dane. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
So those
Yeah.
mountains going that way, is that considered shadow?
Oh, the White Towers are actually. All that is in the White Towers at Grey Havens. Like all.
I can sort of ping, like it's there.
Like all. Yeah. Like all this is Freelance.
So what about like here? What is that? Shadows? No, here.
Yeah. All the mountains are Darklands, more or less.
Okay.
All right. So let's start the journey then.
Mm-hmm.
So, but eventually, I mean, I think. So I think what's going to happen though is like after you complete here, right, you'll go, probably up to the Grey Havens, right? So, in theory, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So first, it's the travel roll. So your marching test. So it's a travel roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I think that's
Bernie.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Rolling travel. Oh no.
Bernie. Is it because Myrtle wasn't singing?
I rolled pretty badly on the success dice. I will use one hope to get an extra d6.
Okay.
And hopefully that will be enough.
Yeah. 50-50 chance.
Yes.
It is enough. So if the travel roll is a success, the event takes place. Okay. So I think you move
We're heading towards the Shire.
You move 3 hexes, so you get to here during the first phase of your travel. One. So you kind of travel through the Shire. It's very pleasant, and then you leave the free lands and head into this little wilderness area.
Well,
You're in
I think your hexes are larger than.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think your hexes are like twice as large as.
Yeah, I remember we did that before.
Yeah. So more like 1.5 hexes.
Yeah, I think these hexes here on the map. We did the conversion before. Yeah, but you're probably right. It's like 1.5.
So we're back a little bit.
Yeah, so you're like here. Yeah, the 50 mile. Yeah, 50 mile.
Yeah, I don't remember if it says specifically the hex size on the base map.
Yeah, it does somewhere, but I believe you're right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, because these are 50 miles, and then you'd think it would be on the map. There would be a key on the map itself somewhere, but I just can't see it.
That's okay. We can keep going.
Yep. Okay. All right, and then next we have an event. So, okay. So for the event, it's going to be a scout. So an explore roll for the scout, which is Myrtle.
Explore.
And then, yeah. And then on the journey table, it's a favored roll, right, for the event. And then you guys get a +1 on top of that.
Okay, so where do I check? I don't check favored, right? I mean, it's checked over here, but I know, like, if I'm doing certain stances, I check it down by combat.
No, if it's
okay.
Yeah, so you have your favorite scout, right? So
right, and fair spoken, Marion, burglar. Okay, none of those count. So no bonus dice, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Extraordinary 2 successes.
Oh, geez. Okay. So
How did she get like 2 6s? 2 6s and a 4.
that's great. Yeah. So if the roll succeeds, it looks like, so I rolled for the event, I rolled a 5 and a 7, so that becomes an 8, right? So the roll succeeds, reduce the length of the journey by 1 day, and your fatigue points gained are only 1.
But we have now. Gwennon doesn't take fatigue, right?
Right.
Okay. So Myrtle takes 1 fatigue. And
yeah. So you're allowed, you progress faster. Well, it makes sense. Myrtle knows the southern part of the Shire pretty well, apparently, and goes, "Oh, if we travel through, look, this little trail here. If we travel through, Burger Tuck's strawberry farm, we can get to where we need to get a little quicker,
and second and third breakfast,
and eat along the way."
Yeah.
Did we do anything extra with the extraordinary successes?
I don't think, unless there's a specific thing, I don't think so. But
Well, I guess I will reduce the fatigue by 1, which means you take no fatigue.
No fatigue.
Yeah, it's such an easygoing shortcut. It's mostly downhill. You have plenty of food on the way, so you don't have to stop and break. You can just stop along the road, sit down on a nice, log that's been carved into a bench. It's almost like a park. So I guess you probably do make it to. It says reduced 1 day on the journey, so you probably make it to there instead. Okay, well that was pretty. That was pretty nice. A very auspicious beginning for our travel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and now it is back to the next phase of the travel. So another marching test for Bruni.
All right. Test for Bruni. Look
Nice.
at that.
Feat success. So Gandalf is with us.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, and this is going to be normal, but you got a feat success. So I think I'll give you favored again for the possible event. Oh, okay.
Just out of curiosity, so Arlen, you said we have that bonus on journey plus 1 feat. Was I supposed to roll something different?
No, that's for determining the event for Carl's thing.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Is that there's a table. The way
Yeah.
you determine the event is kind of a couple of different pieces, but one of the tables is the consequences, and we get a +1 on the table, which means that basically the higher results are better. So that's just part of determining what happens on the table, because we know about what the route is like because we studied maps.
Right.
We're likely to have better events, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, which is actually good in this case, the truth be told. So it's a hunting roll.
Okay.
So that's Gwenin.
Hunting.
Yes.
And she wouldn't. Gosh, my cursor is being a booger. So her shadow lore is not in play right now because we're not in the Shadowlands, correct?
No.
Okay, so no additional dice. Goodness.
Dang. Wow, that's really good. All right. So here's what I rolled on both dice. I rolled like a double I.
Oh,
Oh
no.
boy.
However, you guys get a +1 because of your study of maps. So there must have been like an old tomb, and it just gets very gloomy and maybe even foggy as the journey progresses. But perhaps Gwenin's recognition of the maps and recalling of the maps that her and Bruni studied, and maybe even the addition of the maps that you found in the where you fought the Barrow White, because there was a bunch of maps and all that kind of stuff. There is also an ancient sword that had special properties. So I do have a question then for Arlen before we resolve this.
Okay.
So can you only get like Keen, Grievous, or the other, or through Valor, or can you find things? Can you find treasure?
So you can also find treasure. I think the way it's supposed to be is that when you get valor rewards, you are guaranteed those things basically.
Okay.
So if you have a nice sword and you decide to use axes, you can turn in your nice sword for a nice axe. But that you can also find, because some of the like really high tier special bonuses are supposed to be only like for whatchamacallit, like unique items, right? Like Sting or Glamdring or something that they found.
But that goes beyond the 3 levels in your Valor. That goes beyond Grievous, Keen, and like they're usually a couple of those things, or maybe even all 3 sometimes.
Yeah, they're really big, special. Like the looking at some of like all the superior ones, or
okay. Well, no one's really kind of examined that ancient sword.
That's what we should do next fellowship phase. We can do
at some
that.
point. Okay, cool. All right. Well, so anyways, it's gloomy, it's foggy, it starts drizzling, but with extraordinary success, Gwennon, and it feels like there's a bit of shadow through this area that you're finding. So like maybe in like an old unmarked tomb. Maybe that's that strange sigil on the map that Bruni and the rest studied during the last fellowship phase, but you're able to avoid it, and everyone only loses 1 fatigue instead of 2 because of the extraordinary success.
And Gwennon doesn't lose any, right?
Right. And the good thing you failed, because you would have had to make a despair check
Failed on what?
on the hunting roll, but you did not.
Didn't fail.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I got 2 extraordinary successes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's 2
okay.
6s and a 4.
But it's a little slog, through the mist and drizzle. So, it does cost some. All right. Well, so far, it could have been really bad, but it turned out okay. So, Bruni, I think this would be the last leg of the journey.
Every time we're stopping to rest or anything, Myrtle is jotting down verses to the new song she's working on, by the way.
Yeah. Maybe she'll have a marching song next time.
Right.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Bruni.
Yep.
And this one's going to be has to be through Darklands, right? So
do I get a penalty to this roll?
I do not think you get a penalty on the travel roll.
I don't think so either.
Well, would the Song of the Champions that Myrtle's been singing give him a +1 at all, or only defeat?
No, that's going to be when in battle. That's like a battle song.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess you could use it if no one's really weary right now either. I mean, it hasn't been that tough a journey.
No.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, okay. I don't think you get I don't think so.
No, I think it's for the event. The
Yeah.
events get calculated differently.
Right, for sure.
I think that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wildland rolled 1 feat die. Darkland ill-favored feat die roll.
Yep.
I don't think there's any other. All right. Rollin' travel. Success.
Oh, good. Okay.
Just barely.
All right. So you get there. You will get there, and then we'll roll the event. See what happens. It's ill-favored. I take the lowest. Okay. But I add a +1.
Yeah.
All right. So this is going to be a lookout. Oh, good. Everyone got to do something. So lookout roll. And what are we trying to avoid? Okay.
Is Lookout Gwen?
No, lookout is Oradreth.
Okay, good.
Okay. And I will describe. It's too bad.
One of the cool things.
Ill-favored. Too bad it's ill-favored, because look what I rolled.
We can't see.
Oh, can't see.
Oh, I rolled a Gandalf rune.
Oh,
Yay.
well, that would have been convenient.
But I know, but it's ill-favored in the Darklands. Okay,
Terrible.
so I take the other one.
I was looking through all the special, the really high tier special enchanted stuff, and was remembering that one of the cool things is there are a whole bunch of weapon effects and armor effects that are based off of your character's valor.
Oh wow!
So the enchanted, right? Like if you have a enchanted Bane weapon, it can potentially do like bonus damage to everything, and then extra bonus damage based on your valor, which is really cool. It's like a neat way to reflect the heroic stature type stuff.
Ah.
Okay. So, Oradreth, look out
Oradreth
with the awareness roll.
with the awareness.
He's very
That's cool.
aware.
Everybody
Yeah, I
had
know.
a chance.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes it seems well. It's
Nice.
a success. Very nice. Okay. You get to where you get. You gain. Everyone gains 2 fatigue. I don't think there's any extra gain through going through Darklands. Honestly.
No, I think it's just that your event is likely to be tougher.
Yeah, the event is tougher. Okay. And yeah. Perilous locations, there's a different type of rule, but you're not quite in a perilous location. All right, so there is some sort of there's a mishap, but you're able to overcome it. So I think the mishap might be that
Myrtle says, "Fine, she'll clean up the dung."
no, I think the mishap is a this roll. In fact, is or dressed pack animal. Uh, it throws a shoe, buckles, and then but you're aware it throws a shoe, but you're able to control the horse in time before it becomes, really like supplies and the like strewn about the hills, the foothills here of these mountains. So you're able to catch it in time and find the shoe and able to, even though it makes the journey a little longer that day because you want to get to where you're getting, causing a little bit of fatigue, it does not hinder you too much. So again, that was 2 fatigue for people.
Mm-hmm. I put it on Myrtle, but not Gwennon.
Right. Okay. And I think you get to where you're supposed to get. And in the distance.
Now, from this point, does Sorman still want to stay with us, or do we require Sorman to stay with us? Because I know he said he didn't really want to go back to the fort, but he'd get us here.
Right.
I think we should keep him. I mean, we're out in the wilderness, so I assume that he doesn't want to try to make his way back on his own.
Right.
We can just leave him in camp or something so that they don't,
Or disguise them.
Mm-hmm. We switch maps. We switch maps again. And maybe this is a good place for a little break as I catch up, because it's been some time because we had that little Tyndalian escapade. So let's take a little 5-minute break and I'll read up and see what happens when you get to the Star Tower.
Okay, before we head to break, our listeners can go ahead and smash that like button if they think we're going to be successful, and leave a comment as to what they would do, and we'll be back in a jiffy. And pause.
Okay, we're back. So the first thing we're going to do before I describe what's going on is let you guys end your journey. So you have travel fatigue. Some of you are OP and don't have any fatigue. But at the end of the journey, any player here with a mount can first reduce your total fatigue by your mount's vigor rating.
Okay, I have to find.
Huh?
Sage has 1 vigor.
So Myrtle can reduce her fatigue by 1.
So she's 2.
Okay. And I guess, did you do that for Orodreth and Bruni?
Yeah, Orodreth's horse named Horse has 2 vigor, and Bruni's pony named Pony has 2 vigor. So I'm just kidding. They'll probably have real names at some point.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's important because, the famous pony from the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
Bob. It's not Bob. Anyway. There's a whole comic or something.
Bill the Pony.
Bill the Pony, yeah.
Yeah.
How he gets back to Bree.
Makes it back home. Yeah. When they get back to the Shire, right? They find out.
Yeah.
He made it home.
Okay. So anyway, and then now you guys can all attempt a travel roll, and any a success reduces fatigue by 1 more, and any elven icons reduce it further.
This is only for fatigue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm not going to do Gwennon's travel.
No, Gwennon doesn't need to. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Nice. Bruni's feeling good.
Yep.
Myrtle's distracted.
Orodreth not feeling so good. That's okay.
Well, Myrtle is cleaning up after Sage, and that's never fun. So that fatigued her probably more, but so she probably lost one and got it back.
Yeah. So Bruni loses 2 more, right?
Yeah, Bruni's back down to 0.
Okay.
So.
All right, and just to remind you what you learned from Rumor and Lore, this is an ancient tower in the easternmost foothills of the southern Ered Luin, and what remains of a powerful castle from the time of the kings. Wanderers speak of an eerie blue light that sometimes can be seen from Sarn Ford, even like a star shining above the river mists. No one goes there, and recently people have started to disappear in its vicinity. The tower, and the old lore is the tower is left of a fortress built at the time of the North Kingdom of Arnor. It was built atop a dwarven subterranean ruin, and it was besieged at the time of the war with Angmar and fell after a long resistance. Some say that treasonous dwarves betrayed the Dunedain, allowing the forces of the Witch King to enter the castle by secret ways. So that is what you've learned from rumor and lore. It's been a few sessions since you remember that. And you come to this tower in the distance, and you're kind of looking at it over a ravine. And as you look for a passage across the ravine, you see a camp. A camp. It is located in front of a small cave near the edge of this chasm. It's very easily spotted. There's a plume of smoke. They're not being careful. And I guess you probably have to go get some more info on it to check it out.
Would that be explore?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an explore type of thing, or I don't think there's an equivalent of stealth right in this game.
There is a stealth.
There is stealth.
Yeah, so stealth would work as well.
Because
probably stealth is better because you want to get closer and check it out, right?
Gwennon has mastery in stealth and explore.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll ask Myrtle to stay behind. Does anyone want to go with her?
Bruni has a little bit of stealth, but not too much.
Okay.
So he can come, or we can just send off, Now it's the burglar's turn.
If she wants to go.
As Thorin says.
Now, did you say we're in the Shadowlands, Carl?
That's not going to make up, that doesn't matter now.
No. I'm just asking, we're in the Shadowlands now, right?
Yeah, you're in, like, Darklands. Okay. I mean, it's not, this part of Ered Luin is not, well, generally speaking, most of Ered Luin is not pleasant. So. Okay.
So,
I don't think that.
And she's stealthing, so I think she's going to use one of her hope to get an extra die.
Okay. Is this Myrtle or Gwennon? Myrtle?
Gwennon.
Oh, I thought Myrtle was going to go. I thought she's the stealthiest, but.
Is she? I mean, Gwennon has a mastery in it. Myrtle, hang on. Myrtle has a mastery in it as well. She has 3 versus 2. Okay, she can go. But she'll also use her own hope.
Yep, no problem.
She'll use 2 hope to get.
Well, don't you have a distinctive feature that Arlen just mentioned?
With the bonus on journey?
No. The burglar thing?
I don't know how the burglar thing works, Carl.
So if you spend 1 hope, you get 2 dice instead of 1.
Oh, okay.
Or you can just get it. Or you can just get a dice without spending hope. But he wanted 2 dice, so you only had to spend 1 hope.
Right, but I thought that was only in battle. Okay, I guess I misunderstood.
No.
Okay, so she gets
no, actually, the
2.
distinctive features are used outside of battle. Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so 2 bonus dice.
Mm-hmm.
So we're using burglary for 1 and hope for the other. And she got 2 extraordinary.
Yep. Okay. So you go down there, and you see the camp is garrisoned by a small group of brigands. There are 4 of them, actually. And it looks like they're probably this camp could hold more of them, but you must have avoided them through the journey or they must be out looking to, or doing what your companion here, Thornan, was doing, going to towns and trying to convince people to come out here and stuff. All right. So they look like a mix. Go ahead.
Just because I have to throw it out there because of Myrtle. Mm-hmm. Do they seem to have anything exciting that with those extraordinary successes she could probably go up and not steal, but permanently borrow from them?
If you want to get closer, you could, but I was going to describe what else is there.
Okay, we'll wait for a minute, but I mean,
All right.
that's kind of what
Yeah,
she's looking for.
with an extraordinary success, I mean, a success would just get you, and it's extraordinary too. So if you think about it, right? So you get the success to get into a position where you can observe the camp. That's your target, right? And that's
Mm-hmm.
your goal. So you succeeded, and now you have like a +2 to do stuff, right? Or two more things you can do, so you could get closer. You could go and check out the cave, right? Things like that.
Okay.
Um, okay, if you go get closer and steal stuff, that's going to be something else, some other sort of role, right? But anyway, so the brigands look like a mix of Southerners and mean-looking men from Eriador, maybe from Tharbad. You think these type of people kind of come through Bree a lot. Um, all right, among them is a short, wiry fellow.
Like a dwarf?
No, he looks like this. Oh, I guess I should show you here. This is a better. I always forget handouts. There's a Tower of the Star. Like I said, Star Tower. And then this is the guy, that short, wiry fellow that you see. Um, and he comes out. He's dressed.
I don't see any short, wiry guy.
Oh, because I didn't share it. There he is. Right.
Hmm.
All right. So he's got a. All right. So like this guy here, more or less.
Okay.
And then I apologize if they all look like Sornin, but just in case.
That's okay. They could be distant relatives. You never know.
They could all be relatives. And they're in a camp. They're not like at the start, at the tower, right? But
is it possible to use one of her extraordinary successes to see if she recognizes any of them? Like she's seen them multiple times in the tavern and could go up and talk to them?
they're gonna probably you can, but they're probably gonna be like, "Why are you out here?" Anyway. So, yeah, it's an idea. I mean, you can get closer if you want to. If you want to, I think the recognition would be another role. You want to see if you recognize any of them?
Okay. What would recognition be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Um,
To recognize, probably like awareness, insight. Maybe if you remember them, awareness.
insight?
Yeah, right. Insight. I think.
Okay. Our little burglary thing doesn't count, right?
No. If you had something like I mean,
She
you don't
failed.
recognize it. Yeah, you don't recognize any of them.
Okay.
All right. All right. So
Because
what
what she was thinking ultimately was if she did recognize one of them and they said, "What are you doing out here?" she would say, "Oh, I've never been in that scary cave. Could you show it to me?"
Okay. Well, they don't see you. You're like blended in. You're like hiding. All right.
Right
So
at the moment.
yep. So this guy here,
Okay.
he does. You can. Oh, you're close enough where you can hear him say something.
Okay.
And he says, you see him emerging from the cave, like I said, and he tells the others to be alert because she is unquiet.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to get closer or go back or what. Check in the cave or.
I think she would peek into the cave and see if she could see what quote unquote she is. Because her other plan would be to go up to them and say, "My pony wandered off from the Shire. I've been chasing her for days now. Do you think she went into the cave?" Or she could
If you
say,
get
"It
well, if you
went
get caught, right?
right." At least that's kind of her plan.
Okay. All right. So you can sneak to the cave, and you see that as you peek in, still hidden, you see that there are ancient steps cut into the rock that lead underground, and the cave has like some more supplies and stuff like that.
Okay. That's intriguing to her. But she doesn't see what or who they called she, right?
No, you don't see anyone else in there.
Okay. Can she sneak a little bit downstairs?
Yeah, and then after that, you're gonna have to,
Roll. Yeah, I know.
yeah, because that'd be your 2 successes there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, so you're gonna sneak further into the cave.
Yes.
Okay, you sneak further into the cave, and you see that the steps lead to a stone bridge that once crossed the ravine. I think I can reveal something to you down here at the bottom.
Bottom.
Yeah,
Oh, down here.
yeah. So I'll ping it.
I see it.
Okay, yeah, down there. Um, and the bridge is now broken, but there's a makeshift wooden ramp that looks like it could be pushed across to join the 2 sides.
Okay.
So like it's attached with rope, and then it's like it could be lowered like a raised and lowered like a drawbridge.
Okay. But I don't see anybody there, do I?
No, there's also you can hear water um, from down below somewhere.
Okay. This isn't a place she would have heard songs or stories or riddles about, is it?
No, but you recall what Brunei found out, that there was like a dwarf. This tower was built on a dwarven stronghold, so this could lead to like the dwarf. And this, I don't know. It looks like someone like Brunei would have made this bridge, but of course it wouldn't be broken in the middle. Um,
Right. Okay.
so this could be like dwarven construction.
She will back as quietly as she can out of the cave and head back to her party.
Okay, give me another.
I mean, she really would like to steal a little something on her way.
Yeah, you could. What is that? Is that sleight of hand or something? Is there a sleight of hand?
Um, I don't know. I don't even know what thievery is. Thievery.
I think it's probably just part of stealth.
Yeah, it's probably
It's
just part
all-
of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, roll your stealth.
Okay, so she's going to use one hope. So she's now at.
You can see that Amy's now willing to use hope.
On Myrtle. Yeah, she's got lots of it. Okay, so I took one away. And so one over here. Hopefully good things. Yay!
Dang, dude. All right. Yeah, no problem. You can even steal some stuff.
Okay, she'd really like to. She'd like to steal something that could tell her a little bit more about these guys. Like, she really likes that sword he had.
Mm-hmm. You can't
Like,
steal. I don't think you can steal that, but
Bilbo and the trolls picking their pockets.
yeah, kind of.
That's kind of what she's doing. Grabbing things.
Where's
She doesn't necessarily need their money, but just something that could tell her more about where they're from. And if she doesn't recognize it, somebody in the party would. So, like a canteen or a dagger, or she does like shiny jewels, things like that.
Roll. Okay. Yeah, they have how to create a treasure board too, which is kind of cool. So roll 2 feet dice.
Um,
Oh,
R
oh,
two.
roll or 2d12 or roll the feet dice twice, so it's 2d12.
I don't know how to roll a feet die.
Oh, we just use the regular die roller and you roll 2d12. That's what the feet dice.
12 and an 8, 20.
The 12 is the Gandalf rune, right?
Yeah, that's her patron.
All right, roll a d6.
1.
Okay.
Oh, you
What?
You didn't roll a d6. It was
Sorry. /roll 1 d6. I was trying to walk.
yeah.
6.
You can, if you wanted to take that guy's weapon, you could.
I'd like to. Is this the sword?
Yeah.
Oh, she wants it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then
Yeah,
she wants to GTIF.
Yeah. Yeah. No problem. That's cool. All right. That was a good roll. All right. So you kind of lift the guy's sword, and you head back to camp. Probably like the rest of you, you kind of maybe Gwennon's pacing back and forth. I don't know how Orodrith feels because she's been gone for a little bit. So I don't know if how Bruni and Orodrith feel or how Gwennon feels about her.
Gwennon would be looking like if she's not back in the amount of time it takes me to count to 20, I'm going after her. She's doing something she shouldn't be doing.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Arlen.
I think Orodreth and Bruni are both, a little concerned about the Hobbit, but they're, going to be patient. Know that Myrtle can handle herself clearly, as we found out with the Barrow White. And then I think we should take a look at the sword that Myrtle.
Yeah, and as soon as you
bringing back.
Yeah, as soon as you are, as soon as you like think that you're gonna go, maybe even Myrtle waits until Gwennon says 19 and steps out, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's used to that. It's like when Mom says, you have until I count to 10 to behave. You settle down on 9. So she'll show up at 19. Or 2, depending on whether or not Gwennon is going ascending or descending with her counting skills.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And as soon as she comes into the camp, Gwennon would tell her, we have talked about this young lady. What on earth are you carrying? And she'd, with a big grin on her face, pull it out. But she'd first tell them about, she went and saw this camp. The short, wiry guy said that she, whatever or whoever she is unquiet. And I went down into the cave, down the steps. And Bruni, I think I saw somewhere you'd like to go because it looks like what you were talking about where you guys had your stronghold. But there's a bridge and it looks broken. And they have a wooden bridge that they raise and lower on there. And I think it'd be a whole lot of fun if we went and checked it out. But I know that Gwennon would be counting, so I scurried back. But I couldn't help myself. It was shiny and it's pretty. And it's probably larger than me.
Okay. Arlen, you wanted to examine that sword.
Yeah, seems like.
She'll hand it to whoever wants to look at it first, Bruni or Ordrith.
And of course, unless someone questions her, Myrtle doesn't tell you how many people are in the camp. All the important logistical stuff.
Yeah. Well, I think Bruni wants to look at the sword after hearing about dwarven ruin, because we know they're dwarven ruins, so he suspects there might be a dwarven object looted from the ruins. But Orodreth will ask about the people there and confirm the comment about she is restless and all of that. And figure out, because I think Orodreth is about ready to go drive off some brigands, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of his thing.
She would tell you that she saw this wiry guy, and he has a cape on, and he had it over his head, and he had a very pretty shiny sword, and I saw exactly where he put it, so I don't think he'll mind that I permanently borrowed it. And then he had like 4 guys with him, and they're kind of the size of Sorman and dressed similarly. And they just kind of, maybe they're robots, I don't know. They do whatever he tells them to do, and they don't ask questions.
Yeah. Thornon says, that's Sabian, the man you described. I'm surprised that he is here.
Sabian.
And how many with him, little one?
Oh, it's just Sabian and then the 4 guys that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a nice guy?
No, he is not a nice guy.
Do you know who the she he's talking about is? Because I tried to see, but I would fall into the water that's underneath the bridge. But she must be very important because they built a wooden thing.
He kind of blanches when you say she.
Oh, she, Sorman.
It is some creature down there.
In the water?
No, in those accursed halls under the tower.
Huh. Bruni, do you know who she is?
Right.
I have not found any reference in the books of lore that I consult, but
I'd like to see a dwarf underground. Will you take me? Because Gwennon wouldn't let me stay longer. She counts to 20.
but you might not even recognize a dwarf woman as a woman, you know. They have great beards, much like dwarf men, which leads some to suspect that dwarves just spring out of holes in the ground, which is, of course, completely ridiculous.
We should go. I think we'd have fun.
All right, so I probably need a series of lore check or lore rolls. Or craft for the sword, and then lore for the other information.
Sounds good. I'll have Bruni do craft for the sword.
Okay.
Nice.
Roll me the odd d20.
/R1 d20. 14.
So you recognize this as a dwarven weapon. It's a dwarven sword, which is odd, but it's a rune scored weapon.
Ruin scored weapon.
Yes. So it bolsters you when you are tired or miserable. So, rune scored weapon, when you make an attack roll using this weapon possessing this quality, you ignore the effects of being miserable or weary. So, rune scored, dwarven blade.
Is it what type of blade specifically?
What do you mean? Like
a long sword or a short sword, or
a long sword. Rune scored long sword. So I guess like a dwarf would use as a hand in half, maybe.
Yeah, makes sense. Ooh, rune scored longsword.
Myrtle asked Bruni if it makes him happy.
Bruni will say, it is a fine weapon of ancient craftsmanship.
And I'll give you, since it's probably runes are price specific, so if you want to know more about the dwarven bridge and runes that she talked about, I'll give you a bonus dice on your lore for that.
Because Myrtle would tell him if it pleases him, you should have it back. It's not mine to keep. It wasn't mine to take, but it wasn't mine to keep.
And the cool thing is, like, you got it through a Gandalf rune. If you get it with the Sauron rune, then you get greed. But it's kind of cool. Okay. All right. So, Bruni, did you want to do, or anyone could do lore on the
Ruins.
she person that they're
Yeah.
talking about, or on the Dwarven ruins?
All right. I will do Bruni for the ruins.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. So you recognize the craftsmanship of Narad Nala.
Ra-la-ra.
Narad Nala.
And Gwennon will do lore. But I don't think none of her stuff goes with that. So
Oh, I'll give you a bonus dice though if Gwennon is doing it.
Gwennon is.
Yeah.
Macro option. Did I do this wrong? Huh?
Oh,
Why did it roll it twice?
I don't know. The first one failed. I don't know if you want to spend any hope because you're only 2 away.
I'll spend hope. We'll see how this goes. And I just roll 1d6, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Four.
Nice. That's a success. Do you have any 6s?
No.
No 6s. Okay.
No.
Anyway, so
Three,
all right,
two,
so
three.
so you suspect. Okay. As you kind of look now, you're seeing this tower. You're recalling your maps and stuff that you were given to, as part of your trappings initially.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of this could be a remnant, an accursed remnant potentially of the Lady Elwyn, and she was once a Dunedain noble lady.
Lady Elwyn.
Lady Elwyn.
Oh, another do or die.
And it is said, basically, it is said that she died with her city when it fell to the forces of Angmar. But maybe she's still alive in some form or another now.
Well, I think since she's fellow Dunedain, I would think that Gwennon would be wanting to see if it really is her.
Mm-hmm.
She would say that to Orodrith and Bernie and Myrtle. She'd recount the story of Lady Elwyn to them. She's Dunedain. She fell during Anamar. We all thought she perished, but perhaps she is trapped. She could be a good asset to us.
Well, Orodrith would suspect something else.
What, other than an asset?
Well,
often those fallen against the shadow find their spirits corrupted by its pervasive influence, despite their best efforts.
But we could heal her. May take time.
Some ills cannot be healed.
But one can always hope. It is my duty to try. So as a ranger and a warden and protector of souls, I feel as though I must go.
okay.
I suggest you be prepared for whatever possibilities there may be.
That is
All right,
wise counsel, sir.
All right, so how are we going to approach this? So the cave leads to underground ruins that probably lead into the tower itself.
So first off, do we want to have somebody use the sword? Since we know that it has at least one enchantment.
Myrtle gave it to Bruni.
Well, Bruni doesn't. I guess what I'm saying is talking through. Bruni doesn't he uses axes. what does Gwynin use? A longsword?
She does. I guess she could carry it.
But she has a keen longsword though.
Oh, she already has a key one. Okay, well,
Yeah.
then I'm going to suggest that Oradreth takes this longsword because he has just a basic longsword right now. So he could add.
He should.
All right, so I think
I'm pretty certain it's bigger than Myrtle. She can't use big weapons, so
yeah.
she can thieve them. And she wants to know if she should sneak into the camp at night and take everyone's swords and then they attack, or take everyone's weapons and then we can attack them,
or just sneak up and attack them.
Yeah. So I think so. Bruni has got sword kind of classic across his lap with the the blade partially out of. I guess it doesn't even need, since it's a magic weapon, it doesn't get dull or anything. So maybe it doesn't even have a scabbard.
Oh yeah, well the scabbard's a different provenance. The scabbard you suspect is from like Tharbad, right? So like something this guy bought in Tharbad, or to house this. It's kind of that kind of craftsmanship. So it's like mundane craftsmanship. It's like mundane craftsmanship, So he probably found it and just bought a scabbard for it. I'm assuming like Myrtle lifted the whole thing as it was sitting down, near his tent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took it off to bathe or sleep, and she took it.
Oh, something happened.
So Bruni, looking at the sword, and Oradreth will come over and say, I know that you, like many of your kind, favor axes. Seems poor use of the treasures of the free peoples to let that blade go to waste, right. If I might. And we see, I think it's kind of a, it's like a little bit of a coldness between them fading away as Bruni, you can see for a moment he's kind of reluctant to hand it over because it is a dwarven weapon, and you know how the dwarves are about treasure. It's kind of a moment for both of them, right? Oradreth respecting the dwarven craftsmanship, and Bruni kind of learning to let go a little bit of his prejudices and all that. And then Oradreth will use the new magic sword.
Cool.
Myrtle will whisper to Bruni, "Don't worry, I'll get you something else."
All right. So how are we going to approach this? Do you really want to sneak back in, or I don't know. I guess that's the question.
Well, I mean, Myrtle thinks it worked really well to take the other guy's sword. Why not try to take the other little four guys? She didn't see what weapons they had, but just take whatever she can find that they might arm themselves with.
Well, you could even just shoot down on them if they don't know you're coming, and probably get get more than one volley before that would even happen. So,
okay.
I mean, they had there's nothing of value. Maybe it's some like trade goods or whatever, small amount of treasure. This was like the piece of the
the big big fancy treasure.
Myrtle is thinking in her head she would love to have been in the tent when Sabian came back and his sword was gone.
Okay.
Because they didn't even know she was there. So.
Right.
All right. Well, she'll definitely tell them exactly where they were and where she saw them in the camp, so that everybody can get in place.
Mm-hmm.
I need to take a short break again.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Works.
It does.
Yeah.
I think the next scene is going to be we're going to attack the camp.
Yeah.
On pause.
Okay, so I think now we got to figure out how we want to approach these bandits, attack them, subdue them, because they're not really men of shadow, or they're not right. They're not evil per se. They're just corrupt. I don't know if that's the right term. Right. So we'll see.
Jessica Rabbit, I'm not bad. I'm just drawn this way.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm just statted out this way.
Yep.
Right. So I think what we could do, we could resolve this pretty. I mean, I know you guys want to get into place. Myrtle's been down there, so she can kind of give the lay of it. So if someone wants to make a battle roll, then you can kind of figure out how to, start this combat with advantage in a way.
Or Drek is feeling battle-y.
Okay. Get a bonus dice based on Myrtle's intel.
Yeah,
Cool.
Gwennon only has a 2.
Oh,
Oh,
look at
geez.
that.
All right.
Woohoo! We
Okay.
are.
So you can time it. You realize that the ravine is going north to south, and if you approach um, from the west, which you're able to do because of the route that you took, you can get to them almost at dusk when the sun is in their faces, and you can fire down upon them um, for at least 2 volleys and maybe a third with that if you position yourselves correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys can easily get into position, get a surprise attack using ranged weapons from
Okay.
superior ground, and give you an additional ranged weapons volley.
Okay.
And probably I'll do you can get 2 volleys and a bonus dice in each round because they can't see what to avoid if the sun's in their faces.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nice.
Yay.
Okay. All right. So and also when you get there, so everyone's going to be rearward. So we're not going to worry about initiative right now. Do you leave Sornin back in your camp with the horse with the ponies and stuff, or
I
so he
think
doesn't have to?
he would come with.
All right. What about the horses and the like?
I think they're trained to stay.
Okay.
I
I think
wouldn't.
I would imagine it makes sense to leave Sornin back with the ponies and horses
Okay.
and just have everybody, all of them, all the non-combatants hang out back at camp basically, so
Okay.
that we don't have
Yeah,
to
I
worry
don't want
about
him.
them.
You don't want him to. You don't want to compromise him. Maybe these are his friends. He doesn't want to really attack him.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Gwen.
Yeah, he's only.
Go ahead.
Oh well, he's mostly just following us because we kind of bullied him about being bad, right? So
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he just needs like a Yule phase where he's with some more influential on the side of being a good person,
yeah,
and
makes sense.
Well,
he'll probably become a legit hench person.
Yeah,
Gwennon wants to ask him if he feels that any of the ones that might be in the camp, should we capture them and take them to the authorities, or
He
do
goes,
you?
well, he says, well, please, some of those might be my friends. Don't kill them.
Okay, then we just basically.
And even the Sabian guy, if you're based on the lore that or the intel that you've uncovered, it might not be worth it to kill him. It might be better to capture him and see who his bosses are, right?
yeah. I'm trying to let me double check how.
Then I'm almost wondering if, while you guys are up on top getting ready to volley, if Myrtle should sneak back into the camp if they're still asleep and see if she could just tie them up.
There won't be a sleep, not at dusk, but you know, but Myrtle can move. I don't know. I think she's good with the bow, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't want to take the chance of killing anyone.
Really, I guess you just subdue them if you defeat them, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
decide.
we can do endurance loss too.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And if they take a wound, they take a wound. That's such is the nature of battle. But
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily mean they're dead.
Okay.
Yeah, we could potentially keep them,
Mm-hmm.
give them some first aid, and keep them around.
You're right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I envision Myrtle handing her cup of coffee to Sorman and say, "Hold this. I have to go to work." Pulls out her bow.
All right. So,
Or Dreth will say, "Target the leader first. Once the head of the snake is struck, they will be even more disorganized."
right.
Yes, Sir Orgrin. Myrtle never realized that her thievery could be used for good.
Extra.
All right. All right. So we're going to focus our attention on Sabian.
Mhm.
But I'm assuming if somebody was attacking, he would be in the front, right?
I don't know. We'll see when you get there. Okay, I rolled. I wonder if these dice are screwed up.
Why?
Well, the eye is supposed. Is it the eye the 1 or the 11? Right? Is that right?
The eye is the 11 normally, but if you're using the special dice, right, it's just the symbol.
But they have the symbol, and there's no 1 on here.
Oh, are those the first printing dice?
I think so. Yeah.
The when they first did the Kickstarter dice, they printed them wrong, so it's they have an 11 instead of a 1,
Okay.
basically.
All right. I got it. Okay, so that's a 1 then. Okay, that's cool. That's a 1.
Is
I need
1
16.
Gandalf? No, Gandalf is 6.
No. Okay. So that's 9. Okay. All right. So you do see when you get there, you see like one of these guys is actually already lying in the middle of the camp on the ground, like he's been beat up. This guy here,
Mm.
In the middle of their camp, he looks like he's been beat up, and the other guys are kind of a little a distance. Sabian is standing. He's standing outside his tent. You see like there's like stuff like all over the place out in front of the tent. And then he kind of, as you guys approach and are going up there, it's like, who stole it? Where is it? Where is it? You know, so it looks like he's, your guess would be he beat this guy up because he probably thought he stole the weapon. And these other guys are like a little distance from him and wary. So he's already taken care of one guy for you. And he's like,
That's good.
Okay, and he's also yelling at them, you know, standing outside the his tent, right? They're not on the tower, but they're just in our minds we think of them. The tower is behind them across the ravine, right? So maybe if we wanted to do it more, how it is with these guys back. I mean, obviously, they're not in those stances. With these guys here, with the ravine across, and you guys are way above them. So it'll be hard for them to. It's going to be hard for them to scramble up the rocks, and if you get a couple good volleys, they might even cower.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll just put a. It's hard to see that little prone symbol there, so I'll probably just put a. It's really hard to see that prone symbol on them.
I can kind of see it like a little
Yeah.
thing
So
to the right.
I'll just put an X over him, like he's out of the combat.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
Myrtle wants to ask if she can take the first shot at Sabian because he's not being very nice to his friends, and she just really wants to shoot her bow.
Yeah, I mean everyone can shoot. They're not expecting it.
Yeah.
You guys have the high ground, 2 volleys from that battle roll, and a bonus dice because Ordrith is like looks back, kind of waits as the sun crests the as the sun kind of dips low enough where it's kind of reflecting off the mountains behind you, and if they were to look up where you guys are, they just see a glare.
So do I click forward stance when I do my bow then?
No, you could do open stance and then just give a bonus dice.
Okay. Open bow. I think she wants to use a hope.
Sure.
Okay, so
that's gonna be 2 dice. You get a free dice, and then
Okay.
you get 2 dice. Right.
Okay, because I have this up. I'll take that hope away after I roll this. Unless you can do it while I do this.
You could take it away and
And
catch up.
targets parry.
Would they get a parry if they're unaware?
I don't think they would get a. Let me check how. So there's a rule about surprise attack.
While you look that up, I fixed the hoop.
I think it's just that they can't do attacks back. Surprise attacks, right? Because normally for opening volleys, both sides get to volley.
Right. They just can't volley back. Okay. Yeah. So
since they're surprised.
Parry is against this guy is a 1.
1? Okay.
Yeah.
Here goes nothing. Yay! Successful. Injury is 14. Damage 3, injury 14.
Okay. So 14. So yeah, damage is 3.
Yeah, and does her song count at all?
Not yet. No, you don't need to use the song yet until you
Okay.
guys are in trouble, right? That's the good thing about that song.
Okay.
Yeah, the song helps us avoid penalties for weary, basically. But we're just fine right now.
Okay.
Yep.
So now, since I
So-
did 1, Arlen gets to do 1.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. All right. Targeting Sabian.
Yep. So you see
Bruni.
pop. He's like, "What? Oh, we're under attack."
Yeah.
He's like looking. He's like looking up, and he doesn't see anything. Right.
Bruni doesn't have a ranged weapon, so it'll be just Aura Drath.
Okay.
Okay.
Targets parry 1. No! Terrible. Oh,
Okay.
well.
All right. Gwennon.
Gwennon. She's got the bow. No bonus dice, right?
Mhm.
I don't know why. It came up and there was a 1 there already. Is that, what would that be? Oh, because it has her in forward stance. But that's not true. Okay. So 0. Parry 2.
1.
1. Oh, she failed.
Okay.
But she did
All right.
roll a 6, so should she... She's not close enough to use a hope to do it, right?
You're 3 away.
She could use a hope. If you roll a 3 or higher, you would
Yep.
hit.
Okay, so she's down to 8 hope now.
Well, and that'll be a great success. It'll be more damage.
Yeah.
Stronger hit. Yeah.
6!
Nice. Oh,
Yay!
so it's a double great success. What can we do with that?
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. She wants to pin him to the ground.
I don't know if we can do that. We'll see.
Okay, so not enough to do a piercing blow
Right.
with the 2 pierces, but you can do heavy blow.
Yeah.
Twice.
Oh, geez.
Oh, what is heavy blow?
So heavy blow, spend 1 success icon to inflict on your adversary an additional loss of 1 of endurance equal to your strength rating.
Okay.
So you could spend that twice and basically do twice your strength on top of the damage for the bow.
Yeah. And the damage for the bow is 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your strength is probably like 5 or something.
7.
7. Oh, yeah. So,
Jeez.
yeah.
All right.
And
So-
when that happens, can she yell out, "You have angered the gods"? Just
Well, there's really, I don't know, how does that gods work?
all right.
It's not really gods. You'd say you'd anger the Valar?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and there's definitely, they know about the Valar, right? Because like
Yeah.
Faramir talks about
Right.
Okay.
worship of the Valar.
You have angered
Like
the
Nathan
Valar.
didn't.
Make
Okay.
yourself ready.
All right. So that goes to 0, but he's got resolve.
So he can spin to stay in the fight, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't get like his hit points back.
Yeah, I think he just goes back up to 1 basically if he
Yeah. He doesn't have that special undead power.
doesn't have the undead power.
So yelling at him about the Valar, that doesn't mean anything to him, or will that mean something to him?
It might.
Or
Right.
should she say something about she who is angry is angered more by this?
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So you tag him pretty good, like probably hit shot to the hip or hip, abdomen area. He's like, oh, and he has to he kind of bends over and tries to gird himself. Okay, the second volley.
Okay, so Myrtle again.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay. And she'll spend a hope again,
Mhm.
and then that gives her 2 because she gets 1 from the other, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so bonus dice is 2.
And Bruni could be making his way down there. Well, this is going on.
Target parry is 1 still.
Yes.
No, she failed.
Yeah.
But is she close enough that if she spent?
I mean,
I don't know how
you're
to
3
tell.
away.
I don't know how to tell if she's close enough.
Your target number. I don't know why. Why is their target number 19 when it should be an 18?
I don't know.
It's +1 for parry.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah.
So your target number is 16. That's the one on the top, like at 12 o'clock.
19?
Yeah, that's at 1 o'clock, right? So then you rolled a 16, which is pretty good.
Okay, so just 3 away. So
Yeah.
spending would make sense.
Well, it'd be 3 points of endurance to him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I spent that, and I just need to roll 1d6 now. Roll 1d6. A 1.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunate. All right, so still a miss.
That's okay.
All right, Oradreth.
All right. I will take a shot at Sabian as well.
Sabian or one of the new guys?
Well, I want to finish off Sabian because
okay.
I don't think the new guys are going to be as dangerous.
Okay.
Die. Oh, look at that.
Woohoo!
Oh, geez.
Night, night, Sabian.
So I could actually do a piercing blow on that, although if we're trying to take him prisoner, we don't really want to do that.
Well, piercing blow would
Yeah, that would be a kill, potentially.
Oh, yeah. How do we?
So it's a feat die of 7, but you can use 6s to boost the feat die result for the purposes of piercing blow.
Right.
So I could boost it once to 9 and then once to 10 Gandalf, which is what you need to pierce. But I don't think that makes sense because I think we're just going to take him prisoner with endurance, right? That's what we want to do.
Right.
So I'll spend.
Well, how do wounds work then? I mean, I guess if you take a wound, then
because the wound is like bleeding out damage, dying. So endurance is just like knocked around. You're out of the fight.
I think that's what we want is him knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's just spend for more heavy blow stuff on him so that he takes more endurance loss.
Okay.
And then he also loses 1 point of resolve because of my. He loses 3 points of resolve because that's an extraordinary success because of my new cultural virtue, Gleam of Wrath.
Oh, fun.
So he loses 13 points of endurance and 3 points of resolve.
Right, he's done.
Yep, classic.
Pop. Yep.
And at the end of her turn, could Myrtle have gone down to where these 4 are?
Yeah, you guys are shooting and moving down there. That's what's going to happen.
Because she wants to go down and try and heal the one that was beaten up.
All right.
Because he might be Sorman's friend.
Yeah. Glennon.
Is she within range where she can speak to these guys now?
She could try to. I mean, I guess she could try to yell and intimidate them.
Because what I think she wants to do is get them to surrender. And she'll offer them, if they surrender and be good, they may take a safe haven in the new elf village and learn new skills, new things to be better people.
Yeah.
So, what would I roll for that?
That's going to be the. Is it awe? Is it awe? Right?
For intimidate, it'd be awe. It might be
Persuade.
persuade, probably, for
Oh, I don't have
trying to
anything in
convince them.
I don't have anything in persuade. I have 2 in awe.
Well, you could do awe, like, you
To
shut
get them to
down,
surrender.
Yeah.
lay down your weapons immediately, and you will be spared, or something, just to get them
Yes.
to surrender right now.
And then
Yeah.
then you guys can talk to them after. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Go for it.
Okay, so no bonus dice because it's bold or true hearted. Would it be true hearted? She's trying to convince them to be good.
Um,
Or bold doesn't work.
with bold.
But I mean, she has allegiance to Dunadai, so I mean, that would be because she thinks she's protecting this girl. But true hearted.
I'll give you a bonus. I'll give you a bonus for bold.
Okay.
You have strong words that come, as you yell down there for them to attempt to surrender.
Extraordinary
Ace.
2 feet success.
Okay. All right. They throw down they're looking for their bows or weapons, and they just kind of throw down. And then by the time Bruni gets there, like, oh, good thing we surrendered. As this dwarf steps out like miraculously from behind the rocks, and so they.
And Myrtle.
So I think,
can Myrtle do healing to the one that's injured?
Yeah, for sure.
just to talk it through also, I think part of the thing with hope and distinctive features, right, is that you're only supposed to spend 1 hope on a given roll. So distinctive features gives you, that's part of the, I'm double checking that. I don't know if we've spent multiple hope on a single roll, but I think that's part of the distinctive features gives you 2 thing, is that is the only way to get more dice on a single roll.
That's true.
Since you can only spend 1 hope, you can always potentially add 1, but a distinctive feature allows you to add another 1 that you wouldn't normally be able to do.
But then you can also, if your trappings.
Yeah, and you can also add 1 from your gear,
or like, during the course of play, if it makes sense, like Myrtle's intel to make sense to set the battle plan, right? So,
there's a lot of different ways to add them, but I was wondering why it was like, oh, you can spend 1 hope to add 2 dice if you have a distinctive feature. And I was like, oh, well, but isn't that the same? But it's because you normally couldn't spend like 2 hope to get 2 dice. Mm-hmm. You can spend 1 hope to get 1 dice on 1 roll, basically.
All right. So that guy. So you bring this guy back up.
Yeah, she had a great success.
Nice.
And while she's healing him, she wants to explain that you don't need to be thieves for this one. You can stay with the elves and learn better trade. And can you tell me who she is in the cave?
Some foul wraith, he says.
Is it a Dunedain?
It is some fell creature. That's all he knows. I don't know much. Right, this guy's out for a little bit. I mean, he's got like a couple, arrow to the hip, an arrow to the chest, and an arrow in his arm, and he's down.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Myrtle would put bandages on his wounds, but won't wake him up.
Yeah, you could heal him. Make sure he's not. You could do a healing, or someone else could do a healing on him as you're taking care of this guy. Anyone else want to heal?
Well,
or you can leave him unconscious.
Ordrith has pretty good healing, so he can help out.
Yeah, I mean, Gwennon has 2 in healing, but I think she's trying to talk to the others.
Yeah.
But if you need her help, she will come help.
I'll have Ordrith do a heal. Oh, look at
Oh.
that.
Okay. Well, he comes to, but he's still like beat up.
Yeah.
He's like instinctively reaches for a weapon, but he's got nothing. He might even be restraints
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
at this point.
He'd definitely be in restraints.
Right.
Meanwhile, his 4 little henchmen are not.
Although he probably, if Ordreth is wearing his sword, he probably goes, "You took my sword." Can't do anything about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Orodreth didn't take his sword. Myrtle did.
No, I know, but Ordreth is wearing his sword.
Yeah.
It's not his sword though.
He doesn't know. And it's not even his swords. I think Ordrith would say something like that. It wasn't yours to own.
Yeah.
All right.
Does Myrtle need to roll something to convince all 4 of these to go with Saruman back to the elf village?
That's probably like more of a long term. I think. I don't know what you want to convince him to don't go anywhere. I guess you could tie him up too, right?
Well, yeah.
I think we want to.
What do you think?
I mean, it seems like they're basically henchmen for hire in like loose terms, right? So if they can be bought for one side, they can be brought to the other because we're not going to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a fair bit of treasure on the mounts from Tyndalen, right? So we could just offer them, say like, hey, look, this is, if right, you don't have a lot of options. So if you want to be basically hired by us to be essentially just henchmen, or hirelings to hang out, and you don't have to do very much work and you get paid for it, and you just have to not be brigands anymore. That sort of thing.
Can we punch that guy occasionally?
Of course. That's what Myrtle would say. Gwennon would be staring at her out the corner of her eye.
Well, cool. Okay.
And Myrtle would like to, because she's a little dwarf and Sabian's probably much bigger, and she wants to go over and say, "It is I that took the sword back for Sir Bruni here. You took it from his people without giving favor. That was not nice."
He like stares at you. I hate hobbits.
"And I don't like the color of your cloak." And she'll turn around. That's the only thing she can think of to say.
Okay. Well, this is probably a good place to stop before we delve into the cave and the across the chasm. But it should be pretty easy, actually, since they still have the bridge or the makeshift drawbridge thing.
Well, until we run into
Other
Lady Elwyn's spirit.
Right.
Do we want to ask our little captive here, with the ugly cloak, if he can tell us who's in the cave, or confirm that it's Lady Elwyn?
I don't think they know. I mean, they might. I mean, it seems like they don't really know a whole lot of what's going on here, other than that there's treasure here.
No, I meant the guy that we took the sword from.
The leader.
No, I mean even him, right? Like he only referred to her as she,
Yeah.
right?
Well, he does. He would know enough to say. He says, "Yeah, give me a riddle."
Riddle.
Riddle.
See
That's how you kind of worm information out of people,
Yeah.
Myrtle has 3 in riddle, and it's favored.
Oh well. Yeah.
And she doesn't.
And you can have. Oh, how does helping work?
Oh yeah, how does
This
aid work? Yeah.
Let me double check.
I think you spend a hope to give him a dice, something like that. I feel like that's how it works.
Yeah, I think that's all right. Bruni will spend 1 hope to give Myrtle an extra die on that, also to aid.
Thank you.
I wonder if I should I wonder if I should make it ill-favored because you stole his sword and he's pissed off at you.
Well, she's gonna spend a hope of her own as well, so then that's 2.
Okay, so click ill-favored because he's mad at you.
Click ill-favored? Where do I click ill-favored?
There's not a automatic thing, so we'll just have to roll.
Okay.
It's favored normally, right?
Is your favored riddle normally?
Yes.
Just
So you can just uncheck it for.
Yeah, uncheck it.
Uncheck it.
Temporarily. That's still a success.
Still a success.
Dang, dude. How did you not roll any 6s that 5 dice? But that's cool. All right.
Did
That's
she
crazy.
not? She got 3 5s, a 3 and a 2.
Yeah. That's fine. It's fine. So he tells you that the riddle is important. He says my masters call it a fell wraith. The thing appears to be a crooked hag wrapped in tatters, hiding spectral features. Her eyes glow like embers. She will destroy you.
Okay. Is there
He has to throw a threat in.
Is there anything that Gwennon could roll to see if she recognizes what they call a wraith?
The fell. You guys know about shadows, so I think
we know about. I think Oradreth will say, "You may find us doughtier warriors than you expect when it comes to wraiths."
But I mean, is there something that she could roll to confirm that it's Lady Ellen?
He would know who that is. Maybe.
No. She, Gwennon, would she recognize that this might have been where Lady Elvin was or something like that?
I mean, you'd have to find like the body or any trappings that she might have, right?
Okay.
So for sure you would know a fell. I mean, like the barrel white, the fell wraith attacks when it's in the darkness. It has advantages on attacking. It can probably strike fear in people.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're hard to put down, right? Because they're full of hate.
Yep.
So we need to get her out of the darkness and into the light.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna give. So there might be one more thing.
Okay.
So give me a lore roll for
Gwennon.
For Gwennon, and use it. She can use her distinctive feature.
Okay.
With a bonus dice, to give a bonus dice.
Okay. Success.
Nice. You had heard that, and this is a combination of Oradreth and Gwennon talking about it too, right? So you had heard that Lady and you can see the tower, right? It looks like there was a great fire that destroyed it. Here, looking closer, so you had heard the tales are that Lady Elwyn died as a great fire struck the Tower of the Star. So Oradreth and Gwennon would kind of confer, and it's possible that these things, that whatever killed them, and if they come back in undeath, they may have a vulnerability or a fear of what killed them in the first place.
Mm.
So that's an important bit of information, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. But anything else?
Use fire against the wraith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she isn't somebody that we could restore like we did the water demon. Or maybe she is.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's been so long, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I guess with the water, with Heronin is a long time too. But
Heronin was just kind of sad versus
versus
this type of thing is a little more serious, right?
Right.
So, I guess we'll have to see
next time.
Yeah.
On the continuing travels of
this company who doesn't have a name yet.
Doesn't have a name.
The player heroes, they say.
Mm-hmm.
The Fellowship of the Riddles, or the Fellowship of the Song.
I don't know. You have to think about how that.
Anyways, maybe they can leave suggestions in the comments to let us know what we should name them.
Myrtle Brandybuck and her handlers.
As hobbits will travel.
Mm-hmm.
It's the newest soap opera installment in the One Ring trilogy.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Experience.
Okay.
Let's see. We've been playing. Well, you get the normal 3, but I don't see if there's anything for finding cool stuff.
I like the sword.
Um, the cool thing, by the way, you do get bolstered during Yule phase for both adventure and Yule points. It seems.
Ooh.
No, you get both. You get a bonus of skill points during a Yule, which is nice.
But we're not in Yule, right?
No.
No.
You're not in a fellowship phase. Okay, it looks like 3. I mean, you get rewarded with treasure and stuff too. So found out
Yeah.
there's a bit of treasure. We'll have to calculate what the hoard is from the bandits for that, and then we'll
So,
obviously find a magical thing.
so 3 adventure points.
3 adventure points and 3 skill points.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'd say I think I'll give you 4 adventure points because, right, that was a pretty slick operation. I think,
Okay.
and there was no problems during the journey, so right.
We did our best.
So we'll do 3 skill points, 4 adventure points.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for playing. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for running.
Yeah, that's really good.
Quickly trying to get this put up here, and I will say thank you for running again, and good night, and
Good rolling. Bye bye.